Next stop, the night market.
That is dynamite.
Lots of people usually end up dead.
A battle between him and me!
It is truly the only place where we can set aside our differences
He's phantom menacing.
and work towards a common goal.
Kill your friend! Kill your friend!
FX is what we do in the shadows. All new Tuesday at 10 on FX. Stream on Hulu.
Don't sing if you want to live long. They have no use for your song. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead and out of this world.
You're listening to the League Podcast, a Vampire Council, What We Do in the Shadows podcast for season 4, episode 4, The Night Market. I'm Matt Dursin.
Clay and Ferno here.
And we're back. Another episode, the latest episode of What We Do in the Shadows. And this one, they're kind of like, they kind of compare, sometimes What We Do in the Shadows to like The Office or something. And this one kind of is, I feel like this episode is kind of like that. Although, as usual, a little bit
even
of a
with
twist.
the outside adventures, you don't see they don't go out of the office that often in the office.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, there is some literal like office shit going on with Nadja and the Wraiths.
Right. The Wraiths are sort of almost unionizing here, or in a way, because there's been a lot of deaths. And also we find out that the blood sprinklers are not working. But
and
I mean,
they have
first
to
of all
the Wraiths have to sleep in a broom closet.
Yeah. And they have to work, every day, and but there's only and some people are actually just dying, and most of them are humans. So mostly only humans are dying in the nightclub, and nowadays
Right.
she's okay with that. But the Wraiths start to sort of they want better working conditions.
And
also
the guy
the
does really
club is
funny. She keeps they like cut her into like she just floats around like she can she like bamfs.
Yeah.
There's a character on
bamfs.
Umbrella Academy that bamfs too. I was like bamf.
Nice. Yeah, if you're an X-Men fan, that's a good reference. But yeah, that's what she does. And Nadia clearly it's kind of annoyed every time. She's just she's always kind of.
Well, she's always surprising the shit out of her. Like it's like you turn around and like, oh my god, I know you're standing there. She does that all day. To her.
Yeah,
like, calm down with this.
We should also point out that the club is doing very well, though, despite these, because of Colin Robinson's.
That's right.
Creepy tap dancing. So.
And now Laszlo's full on into playing piano for him and whatnot.
Right.
Like, so he's.
Now he's almost like one of those performer parents or whatever they call it.
Like
You gotta work
he's a
at
stage
it.
mom.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a stage mom, exactly. And he's like, "Oh, I just want to read my book." He's like, "No, you don't. You gotta stick with it." I love it. Even this one is just hilarious. Their relationship, because he wants to read like fairy tales, and he's like, "It's all bullshit." And
it's like basically as if Laszlo was there, like when he used to know Rumpelstiltskin and the Little Red Riding Hood and whatnot.
Yeah, what is he? So he says Little Red Riding Hood is just a story about an unsolved child abduction case.
Yeah.
And Rumple Dickskin is what it really should be called.
Right. Should have seen that thing or whatever.
That's the question you should be asking or something. What does he say? Like, why? But anyway, yes, all these fairy tales are all bullshit. But he knows the real story behind all of them. But anyway, so there's between that and yes, as you point out, Xerxes, the head
Wraith.
Wraith, yeah, he's the one who's been elected to and it's so funny. He doesn't speak, but he hands the guide little cards that just, like with his demands. And Nadia finally just like had enough. Like she's like, I gave you a
say
broom closet.
Xerxes. She's like,
Yeah.
hello,
Like,
X.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's like, I gave you a broom closet or whatever, a supply closet.
And another good classic comedy thing is that these are characters that can't talk, so they're handing Kristen Shaw like little note cards of whatever the Wraiths are communicating, and so she gets to put all the spin on it.
But I love it at the end after like they have the meeting and Nadia just walks out. He hands her a card and it just says that went well, and she's like, I think that's meant to be a joke. Or something.
Yeah, Wraiths aren't really known for their sense of humor, but I think that was a joke.
Right. So Nadia has this idea. Oh, we should also point out, like there's I guess that's later, but Nadia has this idea. We're going to the night market because she goes and looks up in this book. We don't know what she looks at. Meanwhile, while Laszlo is telling Colin Robinson more stories about what real fairy tales and stuff.
Yeah, real things that happen.
Right. But she's like, we're going to the night market. So the night market is this thing it's basically one of those like what do they call where people sell their stuff?
Like a bazaar.
Yeah, but I mean, there's like a word, these sort of outdoor, like a market, like the South End open market. Have you ever been to that or whatever?
Yeah. Never been. I don't really like stuff like that, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
People have tents and they sell furniture and shit there.
Yeah. Well, they sell
that would be like this
artwork.
Is so. I would be like, this is so fucking boring. Get me the fuck out of here. That's what I would say if I was at that thing. Not this one, not the night market one.
No, we bought stuff. We bought some art like before at them, but usually they are kind of boring. But anyway, since like at the night market, like so it's all run by like demons and vampires and just all sorts of creatures and whatever. So like money is of no object. So everything is just haggling, like you don't buy things, you just haggle and trade and whatever. So it's pretty funny. Also, so like Nandor is like, oh, good, yes. And his wife is rich, or his wife, who's not his wife yet, I guess Marwa, she's like, I'm so excited to be coming. She talks to the camera, but I don't know if she's done that before, but she's like, oh, I'm so excited. Nandor is bringing me along. And he kind of does like a quick rub of the gene or whatever, or the thing that the gene comes out of. And then she's like, but I don't think I'm going to go on this one. It's like he like immediately shut her down. It's so weird. Like, it's so funny. So it's almost like
he wished her to stay there?
I think he wished her, like he wished her to.
This is the thing we were talking about in the last episode. It's like he's going to run out of wishes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many he got unless he keeps wishing for more. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but he's using a lot of them. But that was it. That's what I think. I think he kind of just get a quick because the way she was like, I'm so excited. Nandor sometimes goes out and he doesn't invite me, and now he's invited me, and then it's like, but then he says like, sometimes you just want to hang out with the boys. I thought that was great. And Guillermo goes along and he's like, is it okay if humans go? And he's like, well, just say you're an orc. And he's like, oh, can I pass for an orc? And Nandor's like, I think, it's like Nandor's idea. He's like, oh, just tell him you're an orc.
Just tell him you're an orc. And it's like, when he gets there, this guy's like, you're a human. He's like, no, obviously he's an orc. And like, the guy's like, oh yeah. It's like,
go
am I really that much of an orc? Yeah, like he doesn't even know what an orc looks like. But like Nandor keeps kind of going like, like he never comes out and says it. It's just hilarious. But anyway, so the night market has all kinds of fun stuff, and Laszlo and Colin Robinson are there. And at one point, he's like, you see those gnomes behind me? Those are real gnomes. Like they move. Like they look like those that guy, like the zombie gnome guy that was next to us at Comic-Con that year.
Yeah, he's like they look like that because they're frozen scared. They're really frightened when you look at them. Right. And then when he's turned around, they ran away.
Yeah, they just moved. They just walked away. It was hilarious. And we also meet Valkyries, which are
There's a lot of fun puppet stuff in this. There was like there was like a little like weird creature like shining someone a demon shoes or something.
Yeah, so weird. That he says, "Oh, do you like fairies?" Like, and he asked Colin Robinson, "Is like, fairies are pretty small women who help you." And he's like, "I'll show you some fairies." And he opens up a dumpster, and there's these two little things come out that I guess these two little women. But yeah, they're like puppets, whatever, and they're like, "Hey, Laszlo,"
and then he's like, "Oh, this smells like shit." He's like, "We're eating garbage."
Yeah, you're just in here eating garbage, huh? All right, well, I'm gonna close the lid now, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna close?" I mean, they have like,
"Fuck you, Laszlo," and stuff like that.
He just like, "Fuck you, Laszlo," and so then he closes it. So like he's teaching Colin Robinson.
And Colin's like, stuff. "Yeah, they smelled like shit."
I know. He's like this 6-year-old kid or whatever age he is by now. I don't know. He was like 6 in the last one. But yeah, like, so it's really hilarious. Like, he's still teaching him the ways of the world.
There was another funny Colin Robinson thing when they took the train and Naja's like, "This is the train that takes us to Night Market."
Right.
And they get on the train, and there's humans on the train, and they're all kind of like settling in. And then those guys that, if you're on the train in New York City, is like, "We're gonna sing a song, so anything you can do help." He comes out and he starts like this guy like farts. To the mic.
Like, yeah.
And like Colin's like, "This guy's pretty good." He's like way into it. But all the humans and like Goo and Guillermo are like, "Oh, this smells so gross." Like, so all the humans get off the train because the fart is not only loud, but it smells.
Yeah, right.
And all the humans get off, and so like all the creatures are able to go to the Night Market.
Yeah, like,
but Colin's like, "This guy's pretty good."
Yeah, as soon as all the humans get off, the train now bound for the Night Market. So yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, Guillermo, Harvey Guillen is so good in the I don't know, there's something about sometimes when you see actors kind of that like almost throw up thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it almost gets me to throw up too, but like that his was so funny. His reaction was just like perfect. It was so perfect. But yeah, so Nadia is on a mission here, and she goes to these Valkyries, and these are just like this is not Jane Foster or anything. Like, these are like weird, like some sort of like Stepford wife kind of like women.
They're just like Swedish Nordic like chicks.
Yeah, but they don't speak. Like, they speak, but like they don't really speak at the same time, and like they kind of like have to turn around like to both see, because she grabbed like some kind of vase from Nandor's room, and she's like, "Oh, I'll trade this with you," and they're like, "Oh, that's so wonderful," and then like they have to like spin around so that the other Valkyrie can see it or something. It's very weird, but yeah, it's pretty funny. So then she trades it for like, and I love it because they're Swedish. She basically treats it, and she's like, "Oh, those meatballs in the brown water." So it's like IKEA. It's like IKEA style. Yeah. Like, I love it. And so she takes the meatballs and gets a t-shirt that says, "If you can read this, the bitch fell off." Like, it's like a biker shirt.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And then she trades that for these little purple vials, because like she goes to and this guy's like, and he's just creepy looking, like, I don't know what kind of creature he is, but he's got these long ears and whatever, but he's got this like Irish accent. So I don't know if he's some kind of like leprechaun, or I don't know, like ancient Irish thing or whatever, or Scottish. Maybe he's even Scottish. I can't remember, but yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'll give you some of these, love." And she's like, "All right, thanks." And she just takes it and goes. Yeah, he really loved the T-shirt. But I think the big part of this episode, right, is what happens with Guillermo and Nandor. They go to apparently part of the night market is familiar fights.
So funny.
And yeah, so he's watched and Nandor is all into it. It's like they're at some kind of fight club or something. It's hilarious. The two familiars are
they got kind of like this Greatest Showman kind of guy hosting it, and he's like calling humans like pieces of shit and just treating them generally like shit, and it's like a familiar to familiar fight to the death, and then like some vampires like come in and do like a Mortal Kombat finishing move and rip people's heads off and stuff.
Yeah, they're all like, rip his head off, rip his head off. And Guillermo's all like, no, don't. Oh, this isn't right. People fighting or whatever. And Nando's like, yeah, rip his head off. Like they're like so like we watch a couple fights and then he says, oh, yeah, and like he's like, yeah, let's get out of here. You could kill all these familiars anyway. And they're like, hey, this guy said that his familiar could kill all of us or whatever. And so he kind of eggs him on. Guillermo doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, he like sort of like in Nandor typical fashion, like kind of fucks up and like gets Guillermo in trouble and now has to fight all of the familiars there.
I know, it's great. And like the first guy keeps like swinging at him. He's like, no, I don't want to fight you. And he eventually does this like flipsy-do thing, and the guy runs right into like the car that's there and like knocks himself out. So like, oh
yeah, like
the Greatest
Guillermo
Showman guy
definitely had to. I'm doing this for the listener's perspective. Like Guillermo definitely had to remind Nandor that he's a vampire hunter, and Nandor's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Because later, after he wins a couple of the fights, and one of them was with like a really old lady, but he doesn't win by like fighting. He just wins by like not fighting, really.
Taking her glasses or something. And
he's like, "Here you go.
My glasses. I'm giving them to your boss or whatever."
Yeah, and the ringmaster guy, the Greatest Showman, like he really does. That's actually a perfect description. He's got the coat and the hat and everything, and he's like, and the winner.
That's what I thought they were going for. It was like he kind of like he doesn't exactly look like Hugh Jackman, but like his costume is definitely there, and he's like a thin guy too.
Yeah, he is. So
not that I've ever seen The Greatest Showman. I'm no Colin Robinson. This is funny because didn't I write like in our ideas of like abstract like podcast ideas, like have someone explain to us why Hamilton is good?
Yeah,
just kind of nowhere because you know what, we're never gonna watch it anyways. So
explain Hamilton.
Explain Hamilton. We'd have to like fly someone in to have somebody explain it to us.
I actually don't know anybody who could explain it, but so like. It kind of as you said, as Nandor, it kind of keeps escalating, and now they want him to fight a vampire, and like he's like, oh, like it's like, need I remind you that I am a vampire killer? And he's like, like, oh yeah, I forgot. So like it ends up with all that like back and forth and haggling that, because then he's like, if I kill one vampire, like are they all going to attack me? He's like, yeah, okay, so I'll fight you, and we'll just pretend fight. So Nandor and Guillermo are gonna like pretend fight, but then like the way they keep egging each other, like they end up real fighting.
Yeah, like Nandor like doesn't have the self-control not to kill Guillermo in a way. Like he won't kill Guillermo, but like any of these guys, like they don't really care about humans, even Guillermo. You know what I mean? Even though they accept him as part of the family.
Right. He says, my, 13 years or whatever, you're my closest companion. But he's like, who wants to see me kill my closest companion? And all the vampires like, yeah. But they end up kind of fighting. He throws like stakes at him and stuff. And he's like, what are you doing? And then they end up fighting with swords, which I think was great. Like they went up on this balcony. Oh, it was really funny because my favorite line, I think, was Guillermo pulls out like a big like stake, like a long one, and is like, oh, we're getting all Phantom Menace here. He's he's doing his Darth Maul because he's like whipping it around.
Yeah, he's like, I call him Small Darth Maul or something like that.
Or yeah, like Darth Small or something. Yeah, it was so.
He's like, don't throw sticks, it's rude.
That's right. He does say this is rude. But I love he jumps up and they grab swords. Yeah, like Nando's like, oh, I could sword fight or whatever. And he takes the sword. He's like, well, how much for this? But then like they just start fighting and he cuts the guy's like head off with his own sword. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah, and so they end up like, he's like, oh, he's like, well, yeah, like just like you said, he's about to like really kill him. And he's like, no, just pretend to break my neck or something. And
he's like, oh yeah, that's a better plan.
Yeah, that's a better plan. Like he was just gonna kill him. He's like,
it kind of leads me to my imagination verse of this whole thing. It's because like Guillermo's the first familiar that like he wouldn't kill, like, you know, but he probably could have had another familiar follow him around for 13 years and he would have killed him and not thought anything of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, maybe like, but is it just because he's like that? He just doesn't think, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that Guillermo is like the logic center for all of them, and he can always be like, make them think it's their idea because they're all dumb as fuck. You know what I mean? They're all dumb, like they're purposely written so that they're dumb and like do things that hurt them or are about to hurt themselves all the time.
Yeah, and he's always there to like save the day. But yeah, this one he has to save himself because Nandor doesn't think about this stuff, and he just would have killed them, I guess, just to avoid being attacked by all these other vampires. But yeah, then he just pretended to kill him. He's like, oh yes. He's like, okay, but like it's so funny because they're talking like right in front of them about what to do, everything. It's like wrestling or something where the two guys are in the ring talking to each other about what they're going to do next.
And don't some vampires have super hearing?
I guess not these guys. They're yelling so loud. I don't know.
I was trying to think that, although I'm not familiar with the property, but I was like, is this the Mad Max version? Is this like Thunderdome? Like, is that how those movies go?
I don't know. I'm not that familiar with it either, except that last one, which you know how I feel about that. But
I do.
Yeah, we saw that together. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty funny how I think this is just more great stuff between Nandor and Guillermo, and I don't know where it's going, but I mean, their relationship is one of the biggest things on the show, really.
And, we get our second cut off FaceTime call with his presumably Guillermo's boyfriend. Where he goes out, and they're about to say "I love you" to each other.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know what's going to happen. Like if Nandor gets married, I feel like there's going to be some kind of almost romantic kind of like the Taika Waititi show there. Our flag means death. You know what I mean? Like the kind of like man romance kind of thing, like bromance almost, or whatever you want to call it, between Blackbeard and what's his face? You know what I mean? Like maybe kind of. I think there's going to be some kind of like subtle, maybe not subtle, but something going to happen. There's going to be some jealousy or something. Something's going to happen there. So I'm all for it. But yeah, so the resolution of the Nadia story. Sorry.
But back onto when he was getting there was a whole trickery thing with Nandor and his penis, because the djinn did actually trick him, because he said that something like he kind of like has to think about Guillermo every time he uses his cock.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so like he kind of like wished that into the situation. It also takes away another wish.
Yeah, that's right.
No, that was part of the dick wish. Let's call it, which is a not so popular Charles Bronson movie. Dick Wish. Yeah, a little different. Yeah. But yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, that just plays into the whole thing as well. So we need to
so to wrap up the Nadia storyline, she takes the vials that she traded the T-shirt for. She gives it to Xerxes. These little vials apparently contains the water lily or something. What was the thing?
Yeah, you had it right.
Okay, yeah. And that's the only thing, the water lily of the Nile, and that's the only thing that Wraiths like. So she's basically buying him off and saying, like, I'll give you these if you tell,
It's basically like it's really painful to be a Wraith, so it takes the pain away. It's like heroin or something. It's like,
right.
And it's like it's not enough for all of the Wraiths, but it's enough for one Wraith to use for like eternity or something.
Yeah, and then like he's gonna tell all the other Wraiths that everything is good and they shouldn't bargain anymore for better conditions, and then they all just kill him.
Yeah, Xerxes is dead.
Xerxes is dead. So they end up. She's like, I gave them 5 supply closets or whatever, and
Mondays off.
Mondays off, so they can haunt.
As someone in the music business, that's the day that usually restaurant industry people have off, Monday or Tuesday. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. And some restaurants have industry night on like Mondays or industry day or whatever.
Right.
Like you can
free
go
bowling or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, so
people
like
still go bowling. I guess they do.
Sure.
Not me.
I think it's made a comeback in a way, a little bit. But yes, and they get breaks in their day so they can go and haunt their transgressors. But yeah, like it's so like, resolved.
Right, which is all they were doing before, presumably.
I guess
haunting their transgressors, and they haven't had any time to do that, which is basically the same as like spend some time with your family. Go haunt your transgressors.
I'll give you some time off. He goes, some time with your family. And Laszlo, I don't remember when he was reading In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. Oh, I think that was earlier, actually. But there is it's here, because Colin Robinson is like going to bed.
Because he doesn't want to hear about fantasy stuff anymore. So he's
but Laszlo was going to read him like a story, like a like a bedtime story.
He's like, you've had a long day, bud, because they've been out at the night market or whatever.
The night market, right.
I'll read you one of your fairy tale stories. You deserve it, or whatever. And he's like, no, I want to read something.
He's like, I don't really think I want to hear that anymore. So it is kind of nice. And then he reads him In Cold Blood by Truman Capote.
Yeah, I had to pause it because I was like, what book is that?
I know, it took me a second too, and I was like, wait, but I saw blood. Yeah, but it's.
Did you ever see that movie Capote with Philip Seymour Hoffman?
No.
Great fucking movie.
I heard it was good. I think did he win an Oscar for that?
I think so. I mean,
or did it win
what
Best
a
Picture?
loss. That guy was so
yeah,
one of the best actors ever.
Yeah, that was sad. Yes. So yeah, I mean that's that episode. I loved everything pretty much. I wish there was more something like someone like a Fred Armisen or something, but whatever. I mean, we have enough guest stars. I'm glad actually in a way that
it was all action. It's like kind of like we get those Guillermo fight scene actions, and definitely in the season 2, and like a lot of that he's like the ultimate protector. Season 3,
Yeah, and like he has moves. Like he's not. It's so funny because he's kind of a round guy, like he can fight. So it's great. It's so funny to see. And I don't know. This one actually was good. Like it's really just focusing on the main characters, and the guide is also Kristen Shaw, as always, fantastic. But I like it. And like we said in our last episode, like this isn't really like Laszlo and Nadia it's not really about their relationship. They're kind of having their own storylines and their own things. So I like that. And and we get more Nandor and Guillermo. So I'm always on board for that.
And they had to kind of like Nandor and Guillermo had to work together as a team to, get out of this bind they were in. And they kind of like They always do that in action movies too. When the two good guys have to fight each other, they both kind of get into it.
Yeah.
For part of the fight, and then they then they turn around and start fighting everybody else or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like classic comic book superhero team up where they fight first. But like they end up fighting each other, but they have to figure out a way
how to get out of it because they still are. It needs to, just like the end of every season, like it needs to reset at the end of the episode. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everything needs to go just like back to where it was.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many episodes do you think are in this season. We're already on 4. It's kind of crazy how fast.
I think there's 10. Like last season was 10 as well. I think that's a standard for this show.
It's kind of weird. I guess we talked about this, but like doing 2 in one night is kind of like, I don't know.
Doing 2
whatever.
2 podcasts?
Doing 2 episodes. No. Releasing 2 episodes at once. Like
they didn't do that though. We took a week off.
Oh, did we? Oh, I thought they had 2 at once.
Because it came out the 12th, the 19th. You were on vacay, and we were just getting caught up with the recording this week. So lucky for us that we get to record 2 at a time.
Well, it's true, but last week we also did 2. I don't know. Whatever it does. It's last episode, I should say. I don't know how many they do. It's not enough. So
it's not enough.
Yeah, it's never enough. But anyway, I guess that's all we got, right? For
let's see. I was just
episode 4.
There was 10 episodes. Each season so far is 10 episodes. So
all right. So
I don't imagine that they are gonna break from that.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, and this one is, according to IMDb, this one will be 10. So
and if we just want to keep up with current events and whatnot, the 4th season, this is just wiki, 4th season has received universal acclaim. Rotten Tomatoes, it has a rating of 100%.
Whoa, that's awesome.
8.7 out of 10 average rating.
Nice.
Oh, this is funny. The website's critical consensus reads, aside from turning this demonic household into 3 vampires and a baby, what we do in the shadows doubles down on what it does best without drastically changing the formula and remains Get ready for this. Fang-tastic, all the same. Fuck you.
Fang-tastic?
Fuck
you. Oh, boy.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it's not funny. And maybe I don't
do
know.
like the 3 vampires and a baby line, though.
That is pretty good.
That. And I'm not above reading probably the next Instagram post saying Fang-tastic and thinking I came up with it. So, who am I to say? Who am I to say? Who am I to judge?
Yeah, I mean, we just judged a little, but yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. I mean, that's Rotten Tomatoes, though. I mean, I think that they'd have a little more couth, but that's all right.
But, it's just like every comic book headline or whatever. It's always going to be biff, bam, boom, comics aren't for kids anymore, or Fang-tastic for a vampire.
Right.
It's always it's not escapable. And usually, like in Man of Steel, I think Clark says something like, I don't write the headlines, I just write the articles. The editor might write the headlines.
I guess that's true. Well, we're not writing the headlines. We're not writing the episodes, but we do like them. And I hope you're enjoying
Whether they come out with 1 or 2 or falsely accused of releasing the whole thing at once.
I did.
Which they have.
I falsely accused them. But if you like this, as we say in the biz, smash that like and subscribe button, because
especially, what did I say last episode? YouTube. We gotta get to 100 subscribers. We gotta beat Colin Robinson.
Yeah, he had 2, but
he's
got
more than
more
us
now. Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago, so he's probably got more now.
Yeah, right.
the first episode we did for this season and last season are up there in video form, but we also have audio. So go to our YouTube page. Go to leaguepodcast.com.
This one is even more so when we say wherever you get your podcasts. It is true that we haven't figured out how to automatically upload all of our episodes to YouTube, but if we could, we would. But I always put Vampire Council episodes up on YouTube.
Very good.
Wherever you get your podcasts, especially now.
Now?
With this one.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's also a Facebook group for the Vampire Council, so check that out as well. That is our Facebook group for this podcast.
You'll be able to tell it's ours. It's called a Vampire Council, What We Do in the Shadows podcast, discussion group and podcast, blah, blah, blah. It's a big, long thing. Just like our regular Facebook, when you go to tag it, it's like this big, long thing, and it's too late to change it. So we can't. We're stuck with it. Whatever, who cares?
Who cares? But yeah, that way you know who you are. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Specifically because we kept adding adjectives to it wherever we were. Wherever we can add adjectives, we added them.
That's right. Well, thanks to you, Clay, and thanks for listening, or watching. And keep coming back. We got many more episodes this season. So.
And thanks for subscribing to our main feed and wherever you get your podcasts. That's where you can hear us. I'm ready to do. You count it down this time.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Bats! Oh, that was better. That was a good one.
Really? I thought I was a little early. You want that one?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I like that one.
That's fine.
And I always extract the little audio file out and double it up anyway, so it doesn't matter. You can do it early or late. It's not going to matter because I make it sound like
from every week. What do we need to keep recording it for?
Because it's exciting. You don't like to yell bat?
You're right. It is exciting.
It's fun. Because I like fun. I'm sorry you don't like fun.
Yeah, I don't like fun.
If it's not that good,
I'm always like that.
If it's not that good, I have taken it from other episodes and doubled it up that way.
Oh, there you go.
So
just throw Sam in there.
They did that thing do you remember this? Remember when Dark Knight Rises came out? They were like, everybody say Ooga-Chakas into your microphone and send it in. You remember? Did you do that? I did that.
I think I did that. Yeah.
And it was like, I forget what it was.
So
it was
when
like
he's in the pit,
it was a little weird chant thing
where they say it's rise. What are they saying? It's like rise or whatever. Yeah.
They probably put 50 of them in there and then told everybody, you're
all in there.
We totally did that.
Yeah, everybody is in
there. More likely, some poor intern had to take 200,000 comic book nerds with their own podcasts, setting up their microphone, going Ooga-Chakas into the thing.
Yeah, and there's another one. There's another downloading every single one.
Yeah, just
they got.
Here's the email address where all of those people fucking sent them in. I'm gonna need those audio files cleaned up and sent to me by the end of the day. Get going.
It takes you, like you said, it always takes long. Download. All right, hey, I just did 700.
Warner Brothers.
Can I take a break? No, you got to keep going.
This is Warner Brothers. Maybe you could why are we still on dial-up? This is taking a really long time. You guys don't have faster internet? How?
Oh God. I know. Well, but yeah, they probably sit the intern down in some cave somewhere. You know what I mean? So he's probably got shitty Wi-Fi or something because he's in some
a hiss basement. And an AC going, and he can't hear it that good either. Yeah. And then he's at the WeWork.
It's I did 8,000. Can I take a break now? All right. But one day, though, that intern is going to be making his own movies out there, and he's going to remember this.
Well, yeah, and then we'll be watching some behind the scenes, and it'll be like, well, I was working on Dark Knight Rises, and I had this idea when I was downloading all these things.
Yeah, right. He'll be on Conan one day or something.
Yeah.
The Conan podcast. Be like, yeah, I used to be an intern at Warner Brothers.
You remember that dumb thing they did where everybody said Ooga-Chakas to the microphone? I had to download that.
All 700,000 of them. Yeah, like. And Conan be like, what? You downloaded all of them?
It's a biz, baby. All right, we should sign off. We're going long here. We're going long. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you got to get home.
No, but say goodbye to everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone, if we work.
It's one of the hardest guitar pieces in the world to play.